Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harrison. You might know me online as Rorix, and I'm joined, as always, by friends and co-hosts.
Rowan, you might know me as Mocha, and
this is Sheldon. Probably know me as Captain Unova.
Oh,
out of practice.
No, I thought you were gonna say something. You normally say.
I thought there was a follow-up.
You normally say like
that's it. That's all I got.
And I'm joined by.
No, I just got an and. I barely know where I am.
Oh man, that's fun. All right, off to a great start. How's your tattoo doing?
It's been 2 weeks. This is just a tank top because I was working out. It's over. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, last time you said your quip was, "I'm running out of tank tops."
Yeah. No, I watched.
Always a problem.
Or not. You gotta do laundry eventually. So.
That's a fair point. How y'all doing, Sheldon? How you doing?
Pretty good, man. How y'all doing?
This is grade A banter.
I know.
Phenomenal small talk.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Sheldon, you've just been swallowed up by grad school.
Yeah.
Harrison, I heard you send a message asking for Pokemon teams. Are you actually playing the game? Is my question.
Okay, so
we're just collecting teams.
Yeah, that's
like
a good
just
point.
Hoarding them.
I'm doing a little bit of both, and by that I mean I am definitely hoarding pastes that I have put them into the team builder.
So full disclosure, every paste you get is going to be outdated within a week. So like,
yep, nope, I know, but it's still a place to start.
Fair enough.
And most importantly, right now, I'm actually playing the game. I'm actually playing cards to start collecting.
You gotta actually cards? Play this game a little bit.
Cart. Okay.
I'm actually playing on cart to collect the legendaries that you need to collect to play the actual game.
Okay.
And I decided that since Indy was this weekend, and everything changes so fast, I'm like, I should just get the basis of what I need for things that I know I'll probably want to play or could help other people have pieces for. Because, training them when I know a team is going to be easy. But if I have to grind to get, complete the Pokedex to get Raging Bolt or something, it'll be a pain and a time crunch. So knowing me, I figured that would be the best way to still make progress towards prepping for NAIC.
Well, I think I might have been last week too, but I am still on the fish train. It's evolved a little bit. I think I'm bringing it to my first local, so we'll see where it goes.
You have a local this weekend, right?
I do have one local this weekend. Yeah, I was going to do a road trip for a double, but not. I'm spending one more weekend, just kind of more chill, and before travel kicks off,
and then going hard in the paint.
Yeah, God, the quad MSS is honestly more stressful than the regional. The regional, I feel pretty confident I can hit 5-4 and get 30 points. That's kind of whatever.
Sure.
But if I travel all the way to Canada and play in 4 locals and don't do well in any of them, and
that'd be some feel bads.
I don't know if people are going to be there, 30, 40, something like that, right? They're all going to be kind of sweaty people. So in terms of effort, I'm sure they have wonderful hygiene. So yeah, it's not guaranteed that you make a cut at any of them, really.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. It'll be like you. To narrow down what you just said, it's going to be more narrow competition, right? More focused competition.
Yes, exactly. I'm actually playing to bring multiple teams.
Your first Gastrodon, and then
right. I have one go. Okay, but the real thing is that this format is much. It is by no means actually luck, but there is more matchup roulette than there has been in just single restricted formats are always this way.
Well, when we get to restricteds, we start having the restricteds dictate the archetype of the team you're playing.
Some restricteds beat other restricteds, in general, and their supportive pieces are what you need to But the supportive pieces are never as good as the actual restricted, right? So if your restricted loses to theirs, you are playing at a deficit. You are trying to use your weaker pieces to make up for your stronger piece being bad in this case, right? So, yeah, it's not ideal. I will say that I think the only restriction I've ever seen that doesn't come to games sometimes is Calyrex Shadow, which is funny, but also kind of segues really well into we're going to talk about today, which is the Indianapolis Regionals.
Yeah, absolutely. Indianapolis Regionals happened this past weekend with 688 Masters, standard 9 and 5.
The top not as big as a lot of these have been, actually. I don't know.
No,
I've heard Indy's actually weirdly expensive because
really?
It is a real not to live in, but to get to. It is a real city, but it's still kind of nobody really wants to go to Indiana, so flights are not cheap.
Makes sense.
Interesting. Well, that worked out quite nicely. Or is it Rahan or Rajan?
Rajan.
Rajan? Okay.
Yeah.
Rajan Bolt.
I had both emphases wrong.
Rajan Bolt is amazing. He had actually used.
Yeah.
We can start calling Miraidon Rajan Bolt. Actually,
Rajan Bolt's very
that's
good.
Rajan Bolt.
Yeah, so Rajan Ball, it worked out for him. You know, he came in first and managed
So
600.
just huge congrats to Rajan. Like, he's one of the best players on Team India. He's been playing the game forever now. Like, I think he's like up there with Wolf in terms of experience, like in the scene. And like he has a bunch of good finishes to his name. But I think this is the first time he's actually won an event. So like really huge congrats and well deserved. And then on top of that, with a restricted that no one saw coming.
Well, that was the story of the weekend, right? Like no one thought Miraidon was gonna be do well, and then it cleaned house.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know what I said. I'm sure I considered it mid too. I don't think I like flat out insulted it, but I still need to fill out the apology form.
Absolutely.
Like I was not familiar with your game, etc. Like it's
the only thing is still a lot of damage. Like no matter about anything else you can take away from it, just looking at its abilities and its stats, like that's a lot of damage.
Everyone knew Electro Drift did a lot of damage, but I don't think everybody quite grokked how good Hadron Engine and
Volt
and
Switch.
what they call
Electerra.
Volt Switch. But Hadron Engine and the other version, Orichalcum Pulse are. But the difference is that Koraidon is more widely used, but it has to run Clear Amulet, so it can't get a boosting item, pretty much, right? Like, yes, it can't be intimidated, but in exchange, it doesn't get a life orb or a band or whatever, right? But no, the special one doesn't have to care about that, so it gets the boost from Hadron Engine. So you're talking about a multiplier from the terrain, a multiplier from the ability, then a multiplier from specs, then a multiplier from stab, and then the thing has restricted level power. Like,
and you get Terra Electric to get a double stab,
and then Terra for adaptability. Yeah, so like Volt Switch, Oko's Incineroar, like utterly,
which is insane,
nuts,
baffling.
And you don't even the other thing that was crazy to me is, again, Hadron Engine is a universal boost. It's not just electric moves. So while you don't
stat boost,
so while you don't get the Terra and terrain boost to your dragon moves, it's still really, really strong. The Specs Draco is insane. There was a play where Rajan clicked Draco Meteor into a Calyrex Ice and caught a Raging Bolt switching in. And everybody was like, "Oh my god, what a read! Amazing, he killed it!" I'm like, "Yes, he did that." But I don't know if that's a read or not. But then the very next turn, he clicks Draco again into the Calyrex as it comes out. -2 Draco still does 50%, over 50% cleanly to the Calyrex, which means that was not a read. That was just gonna Oko Calyrex Ice.
It was a are screwed no matter what you put in the spot
with a neutral hit.
Yeah, it's baffling. Absolutely baffling how much that it's insane damage, and like the meta will correct for this, right? Like we're going to see more ground types,
ground type somewhere.
We're gonna see more Rillaboom, we're gonna see less Amoonguss probably, so
or you'll see a lightning rod user somewhere.
Yeah, we could see Raichu. I've seen people building with Patchy's been around. I think I've seen what's the new one with Revival Blessing, Palmont.
Palmont.
Yeah, I've seen some Palmont running around because Volt Absorb, and then Revival Blessing in a restricted format also kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah,
but yeah, like it's definitely going to work for the meta, but still, like, just no one saw that insane damage coming, and everybody was prepped for other things. And then meanwhile, like I was alluding to earlier, like Calyrex Shadow didn't just not make top 8, didn't make top 16, barely made top 32.
Well, that's what happens when everybody is prepared for you. Like, it was the boogeyman coming into the tournament.
But like even it's what was it?
Its best placement was it 27?
24.
No, 24. Carried Ortona. And like pretty standard one, like I think this is like the same thing that Joe is running with the Calm Mind Bolts. Yeah.
And to go with that, it's very interesting to see the usage stats that Play Pokemon or whoever posted in the stream, right? Because you had Cali Shadow was the most used restricted on day 1. And then it only went down to second in day 2.
Yeah, so that is interesting, right? It means that Cali Shadow is still real and it still won a lot of sets. It's just
it had a good conversion rate.
Did not bring it. The people who actually like did really well in the tournament did not run Cali Shadow.
Right. And then in the same, I mean, we can get to the top 12 as well because it's also a pretty I thought it was wild to see the top 12 usage for the two days.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing about it also though is that top 8 was dominated by building groups, like really good players who worked together to build a very cool, unique team that they had thought about all their matchups for, right? And they prepped together, they built these together, and because they're all talented players, they also performed really well together with them. So like Rajan and Aaron Trailer, look at their team, exactly the same except for one slot. And then same with Andrew Zhang and Nick Nabar, Nails. Extremely identical. Identical except for one slot on the Specs Terapagos. Tang Xiling, he ran the same thing as Justin Tang, and I think one other top player as well, with the AV Kyogre and the Iron Jugulus, which is also really cool to see. Like, these are unique teams. You didn't expect to see them in top 8, but like...
I didn't expect to see it. I did see it on stream. It is here in top 6. What did the Iron Jugulus do?
It's really fast, so it gets booster speed. So it is...
And Snarl, Dark Pulse, probably.
Yeah, Hurricane is the real thing. It gets stab
Tailwind Hurricane.
Yeah, exactly. It gets Stab Hurricane with Kyogre, so that's very nice, right?
Okay, that is nice.
Yeah, and then Stab Snarl is
super fast.
Useful.
Snarl is really good.
Yeah, you're faster than Cali. It is kind of a Cali Shadow check.
Yeah.
Heard. Interesting. But yeah, so I didn't realize that until you just pointed out the building groups were all kind of obviously there. But it makes it, the way you said it, it makes perfect sense, right? Like you have these people who are going to build together, do well, and then all perform exceptionally well at the tournament itself.
Andrew Dang was the third one with the Kyogre and Jugulus. Yeah, I think the other story of the weekend though was that so everybody saw Cali Shadow coming and they swatted it down, right? Yep. No one saw Miraidon or Specs Terapagos coming, and
Specs Terapagos caught me off guard.
I thought
that way.
I had seen
that around, and I thought it was
mid.
Like, yeah, I thought it was cooking too hard. I thought they were burning the kitchen down. They clearly didn't. It was great. But the thing that I think the story of the weekend though is that everyone saw Calyrex Ice Rider coming. Everyone knew this thing was stupidly good, and it wasn't like these were crazy. I don't think these were particularly crazy compositions. Like Dustin Burns was using the Calyrex Ice team has been all over ladder since the format was announced. Leonard Kraft had a couple cute tech choices like Uproar and a Farigiraf, but otherwise also super standard. And if you scroll down past like Arton's actually was pretty unique. But Jody, I am going to butcher 11th place JUNXI but yeah, either way, also if a fairly standard team outside of the Tornadus, like none of these are crazy Calyrex Ice builds, but it's still cleaned up. It's still really, really good. Like a good player can make that thing work because it's just so stupidly bulky and it does so much damage. Like you don't even need to go into Trick Room half the time with that thing. It just it lives things and kills you back. Yeah,
it's insanely bulky it's one, like I remember talking about it during Sword and Shield time though. It's like stat distribution is so incredible.
It's so good, right?
Yeah. It's insane, and now that it can change its typing, like that was the one thing that kind of held it back, right? Is that
bad typing, real bad typing.
Ice is a terrible defensive typing, and it was in the world of Zacian, right? So like that was particularly rough for it. But yeah, like it's just really, really good. I think if you don't know what to play, but you consider yourself to have decent fundamentals, just pick up a Cali Ice, like that. You'll do okay.
Yeah. It's really good for its attacks. It's 165 attack and 85 special. So like. It has wonderful distribution. Yeah, it doesn't. It wastes very few stat points. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the other big story was Keanu Inosanto. They were on stream too. It lost to Rajan, but it was kind of a nail biter.
That was
the Zamazenta. Zamazenta is not that crazy, right? Zamazenta plus Pelipper and Fire Water Grass is pretty standard. Although there isn't a water, there isn't a fire rather. Yeah, Moltres is pretending to be fire over there. But the Latios is it didn't do anything on stream, mind you.
No, it didn't.
And then the band it came to the game, and they talked about Latios and it's how broken Soldu was. So that was a highlight on the stream.
It was cute trivia, but it got demolished on stream, and that was it.
I didn't know about Soldu before then, if I'm being honest. I didn't know what it was.
Crazy. I think you only got it if you had a Neon ticket. and I was lucky and knew a kid who had a reader. And they gave out Eon tickets and Nintendo Power, so I had the ticket, but I didn't have the reader for it. And so I had to find a kid locally who bought one of those.
Yeah, but now you can just buy it at that port auction thing, I think.
I have a Latios from the Eon Island or whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's fair. You did, yeah.
Yeah, transferred it up.
You actually have a real Live Index. That's right.
But what was I going to say? The Rillaboom being choice banned was actually kind of the reason that he lost. Yeah. It's cool, right? Because if you have banded Grassy Glide next to Chenpao, it's going to do stupid damage. And if you click Terra Fire, what is Cali Ice doing to you, right? Although you already have an amazing matchup into Cali Ice with
banded Boom in like Sword and Shield time too. I mean, the banded Grassy Glides do a ton of damage.
Not as much as it did in Sword and Shield, right?
Yeah, a little bit less now,
but still, it's definitely good. But in this case, it might have lost in the set because Draco just one-shot the Boom.
Yeah,
like
one-shot it and losing a fake out. Losing a fake out was painful too.
Exactly. If that's an AV Boom, that set looks very different. There was also Rajan lost. He won game 1 handily. Lost game 2 because Keanu clicked Icicle Crash into the Miraidon, and he was like, "Fine, I'll take your Icicle Crash. I'm Terra. Like this will do 50% whatever." It crits, so it does like 95%, and then it flinches, and then it's just over at that point.
Yep.
But
that was unfortunate.
But game 3, Keanu played way better. Got himself into a great position in the end and lost because his Icicle Crash missed. So karma or whatever.
Yep.
But
there were some wild sets. His match, it was the first game, right? That was the Encore and Thunderclap.
Yeah, that was really fun to see too.
Yes. Like, do you want to just talk about Rajan's team now? Because there's a lot of cool choices on this thing. Like it's the whole ladder right now. It's actually painful, but
I can imagine. Yeah, so
this is literally Tayo winning with Articuno all over again. Like it's just nothing but.
So we're looking at Vajan brought Blood Moon Ursaluna with Life Orb, a Miraidon Choice Specs, and Ogerpon Cornerstone, a Farigiraf with Electric Seed, which makes sense.
Yep.
Incineroar with Assault Vest, Terra Ground also, which will come into play here in a moment. Assault Vest with Incineroar and a Whimsicott with Focus Sash.
Yeah. So I think all of these pieces are just so well thought out.
Absolutely.
Okay, so obviously Tailwind mode, Whimsicott enables Miraidon because it's specs, so there are a lot of things outspeeded still, and you want Tailwind, whatever. That part's obvious. The crazy thing that I think it became apparent on a pretty early stream game, I forget which one, that Ursaluna Blood Moon is timid. It is max speed, max speed. It and when you make it timid, it can outspeed Calyrex Shadow Rider under Tailwind.
Yep.
Which is big deal.
You can't make it go fast.
Yeah, so I mean, it's still slow. It's still like I think 112 speed or something like that with it's timid.
Tailwind up, and you're outspeeding anything that's not scarfed.
Yeah. Well, I guess my point is that it still works in your Trick Room mode. You still can have a Trick Room mode.
Exactly.
And that's where we get into Ogerpon Cornerstone, is that it is just the Ogerpon that's best for Trick Room, right? Like it has the built-in sturdy. It kind of wrecks Incineroar with that rock ID cudgel. Like you follow me, you absorb 2 attacks, you set up Trick Room with Farigiraf, all of a sudden Blood Moon is blasting, and then when your Trick Room expires, here comes Miraidon in the back to just clean everything up.
Yeah,
but you can also just go Whimsicott Blood Moon, and I bet he won games day 1 where people just didn't see it being that fast, and then it just
especially like if you can just get 1 game off of it too, like it's worth it. Because that's a free. If you can get a free win in a best of 3,
absolutely. Yeah, no, that is Cocaine Bear, Freddy Fast Bear, whatever. Like is
Freddy Fast Bear. 114 is max speed.
It's actually very cool. It means that you not only outspeed Calyrex Shadow, you also outspeed Scarf Adamant Urshifu, which is
outspeed some decent stuff too. Like what? Low investment, like a lot of low investment kind of things, like base 90s.
Yeah, well, things that people don't tend to put speed in, right? So you're going to be faster than Rillabooms, which is most Rillabooms. Some of them will go faster, of course, but like most Rillabooms like to invest in bulk. So yeah, you will outspeed a lot of Rillaboom unless the Incineroar is max speed. You'll outspeed Incineroar. Use Blood Moon.
Which also we saw that on stream too. Because remember, that was a wild thing to max speed Incineroar.
Yeah. The other cool thing about Incineroar on this team, AV, so most people will say, why would you run AV? Incin's best moves are status moves. You have, like, obviously Parting Shot, but Wisp is really big now too. Taunt is really big now too. But the thing is that he really just more needed a bulky pivot than than damage mitigation. Like the Intimidate's nice for sure, but like every restricted is running Clear Amulet anyway. So if you run AV, not only are you incredibly bulky now, it A means you can actually invest some into attack because you get the special defense for free.
Yeah.
And B, it means that you can't have your pivot move blocked. If you use Parting Shot into a Clear Amulet, it doesn't just not drop the stat. The move fails.
Yep.
Right,
you're stuck in.
The swap is secondary.
Yeah,
effect.
you'd rather just take the tiny bit of chip and get yourself pivoted, because Incin's whole purpose is to eat a hit and allow Miraidon to take the field safely. Yeah,
also, I like too that he's got the Encore Whimsicott too, because that's
Encore
that won a game, which was crazy. He managed to lock a Raging Bolt into Thunderclap, and then had to count the PP.
Yeah,
that was impressive.
They brought up an interesting point on stream too, talking about it's like, what if he didn't max PP it? Like he would have lost if he.
The world's finalist who lost this past year, Michael Zerbesti. I probably also butchered that name. Sorry, I'm in a server with Michael. I still, but Mikhail, I'm not sure. Anyway, he actually did one less PP on a Sucker Punch. I think he did 7 instead of 8,
which makes
just throw people off
sense.
That kind of end game. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because if that had happened, he would have won that set.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure what the mechanic is on that, because some people were saying that struggle doesn't auto happen, but I don't know what kind of message it does. Okay,
yeah.
I know
if you're at 0 PP, you're going to struggle.
It definitely does if you're Encore plus disable. I've actually never played a game where Encore just PP locked someone until they went down, and
yeah, you're going to struggle.
On Showdown, people just forfeit at that point, right? Because you can see the numbers.
Oh, true. Yeah, that makes counting very easy.
But that's one thing. It's like in open team sheets, like, it's Encore probably loses some value compared to closed team sheets, because
it's still very good
on ladder. Sometimes, like, you protected in front of my Whimsicott. Well, guess what? You're not doing anything the rest of the time. Like,
yep. Well, I mean, yeah. The protect, it just pressures people not to click fake out, not to click protect. If they manage to set up Trick Room in front of you, like, that's cute. You're gonna do it again now. You're gonna undo that for me. Like, it's very cool. Very cool tech.
But the pressure, like, you get that out of the way already because they know it's there, so you know that they know, kind of thing. So you get to kind of bypass some of that 40 chess moments. Trying to outplay the outplay or whatever. Like, they know it's there, so you can kind of adjust accordingly. Because if not,
it's one of those things, like, day one you just assume they don't realize it, and day two you're like, these guys are good. But
exactly, yeah, because that was like on Iron Muddles, like, I always ran taunt on mine. It's just like, oh, you just did that. Oh, that sucks for you, because.
Yep. And then Fari with the Electric Seed is also really cool. We haven't seen Electric Seed at all.
Ever,
I haven't seen Grassy Seed in ages either, but it makes a lot of sense. It's a physical assault vest. Like, Fari really wants that physical defense to live hits and set up Trick Room. Right. And then the Terra Ground.
You're going to get electric terrain up, so.
Terra Ground for discharge is very nice.
Because he won multiple games with discharge. Having that stab electric spread with all the multipliers you mentioned earlier, just stupid. Kills everything. Has a huge chance to paralyze something. Like,
and then you have 2 immunities on this team to it. And then it's a good tech too for other Miraidon.
Mm-hmm. Wait, why other Miraidon?
Oh, it's the ground. The ground is a good.
The ground. If you're playing like a mirror or something.
I had the same thought. I was like, how is discharge good against other Miraidon?
No. The
Terra Ground.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course, then they'll just Draco you, but
Yeah, but if you can catch them.
Yeah, totally fair.
Get them locked into a electric move, then you're good. But and just Terra Ground, Terra Blast is just something, because I remember getting got by that at NAIC last year. A Flutter main that had Terra Ground.
I remember you complaining about that.
Yeah.
You were very mad.
I was.
Because you were like, this isn't a thing. Why is it a thing? That's good tech.
Yeah. Like, my whole game plan into like that whole thing was like screwed, because it involved an Iron Hands, and then my Iron Hands couldn't touch it. So I was like,
yeah, this is I wholeheartedly believe you, Rowan, when you say this is all over ladder right now. Because people are playing this and gonna get a feel for it. And
it's the only thing we've got. Like, the only sample size we have is Indianapolis.
People are at least coming up with their own spins on it, at least on high ladder. Like, it isn't just the team verbatim. It was the team verbatim, like, on the day. But already people are starting to make their own spins on it. I have a few ideas, but I might, I don't know. Like, it's like, should I focus all my time on practicing the team I'm going to take to a local, or should I still, like, it's still such early days. Should still want to.
So there's still things. there's still a lot of movement in the meta here for Regulation G, right? But this can never happen again, right?
I mean, Miraidon will do well.
It'll do well, but
it has. I think it can win another event. It's good. It's really, really good.
It's just so much because of the damage, just the amount of damage.
This specific team might not win again, but people will find counters.
But people are going to be more prepared for Miraidon going in.
No, he's not. You're not going to catch people by surprise.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of Rajan's opponents day 2 were surprised by this. They knew what they were going up against and to cut the whole time.
Yeah, but this is also one of the things where people weren't prepping for or building around the idea of Miraidon.
They didn't have game plans, and they will in the future, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But when these people are in cut, they get a couple hours to chill out, or at least one. And all their friends are there who are all really good players too. And they're all okay, what are your lines into this? Everybody huddles up and decides how you're going to play into this, right? So
it becomes a really cool group effort.
Yeah, I don't think that people were just clueless playing into this. They had ideas. I think my point is I think it's genuinely good. Miraidon is an S tier restricted, and we all underestimated it. Yeah,
my favorite thing is everyone on Twitter was like, how did we as a whole community just undercut this restricted by a lot?
So,
sometimes you just have to see it.
Everyone was so focused on the idea of we can finally enable Cork Drive mons now. Oh wait, Cork Drive mons are still bad. Whoops.
Yeah.
But
whenever you just take it as a standalone monster that it is.
Yeah, exactly. Turns out this you'll notice he doesn't have a single Paradox mon.
Look at all the Paradox mons on this team.
Yeah. I have seen versions of it with Iron Hands now.
Doubling up the electric seems like a
what. So let me ask you this question: what relevant ground types are there? Landorus Eye is kind of stonks are down. It might be up again after this.
It's going to go up again, right?
Yeah.
That's
there's
the
going to be
thing.
some ground type. Something has to come.
The problem is that Lando gets a lot worse in this restricted format just because so many things just murder it now. Koraidon is faster than it. Flare Blitz is it. It's dead.
And you can't intimidate. Ice Rider.
So honestly,
the Ice Rider kills it. Calyrex Shadow is probably just strong enough to OHKO it.
The best ground types to kind of counter Miraidon right now are probably Blood Moon, Ursaluna, and Farigiraf. Okay. Tell me I'm wrong.
Blood Moon is probably a legitimate problem for the team, and we'll see what comes of it anyway.
Which will be good though, because things will adjust. But the only thing I'm afraid of is things are going to adjust, and then CSR is going to just run the next tournament.
That is the current conventional wisdom now, is that CSR was over prepped for, and now people are going to say that it's fake, and now they're going to stop prepping for it, and now it's going to win the next tournament. We'll see.
Why is this doing so much damage?
That's CSR is Calyrex Shadow Rider, for those of you like me who took a few seconds to realize what they were saying. But yes, no, you're right.
But that's the thing about this format is everything does so much damage.
It also means if you mess up one turn, you lose.
Oh yes.
If you get unlucky one turn, you can lose.
Hey, that's the same stuff we were having before in Sword and Shield. A lot of the same stuff towards those restricted and Dynamax.
Absolutely,
yeah.
At least Dynamax moves couldn't miss, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You had a more surefire.
So speaking of, I don't know how there's some clever segue for this. Everybody thought Groudon was fake now because it couldn't use Max Quake anymore and P-Blades can miss. And I am still a Groudon hater, but it did get 2 top 32 placements, which is the same number as Calyrex Shadow Rider, and it placed higher than those. So Groudon is still kind of here.
It's still strong. If you hit your move, it's very strong. Yeah. And it needed Clear Amulet. That's been its It that helped it a lot, and it got Heat Crash to this gen. That's new. So you have a strong fire type that's not.
I think it did have Heat Crash in Sword and Shield.
It's Fire Punch. I think
it had it, but nobody ran it because it failed against Dynamax mons.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's right.
So
I know Luca did well with Koraidon, but I don't see where
the highest
14.
14. Okay.
Yeah. And then beyond that, right? I'm just looking down the list on Victory Road here, trying to find I entirely missed Reshiram or Kyurem White in 23rd, but that's there. There's not another Kyurem for a long time. Lunala at 36, another Koraidon at 41. What else is kind of strange? There's a Lugia down at 64.
Oh, so let's can we talk about so it did I think he just barely missed day 2, Chance, Georgia
Yeah,
player,
Chance.
but he was on stream again. He just barely made top 64, so congrats on the 50 CP, barely on the borderline there.
Yep.
But he brought his standard strategy, like literally swapped out the Goltras for a Lugia and was on stream with it. And it was so cute, like
I like it.
it was so cool seeing that win.
Yeah, it was.
I'm all for some Annihilate. I like me some Annihilate.
Yeah.
So
Lugia is crazy bulky. Like I still
with
don't.
multi-scale and
I'm also still not. I am not a Lugia believer at the top level,
no.
but I think you will lose to it if you don't respect it. That's for damn sure. Like
it is, if you get again out of position, but that's the power of this format. You get out of position against something that's considered, quote unquote weak. Like you can still lose pretty easily.
Yup.
Yeah, it was. I'm kind of shocked. There's. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna say this list again. Miraidon, Trapagos, Ice Rider, Kyogre, Zacian, Groudon, Koraidon. What else is there? Kyurem White, Lugia, Lunala. That's it. Oh, Zacian, Zamazenta.
There's a Kingdra.
There's a Kingdra. I was very happy to see Kingdra.
Almost made day 2. You say, oh,
almost
65. Okay, that's cute, and I hate it.
It gets Scald.
It didn't lose Scald. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
That's its one redeeming factor. Its stats continue to suck.
Yep.
But like those,
it's not like bad stats. It's just the most mediocre, like vanilla spread ever.
I kind of see it. I mean, they're bad stats in a restricted format, but I kind of see it because Calyrex Ice after Zamazenta, probably its worst matchup is Kyogre. So having a quad resist and a Rillaboom on a team with Calyrex Ice. In fact, this is like the most Kyogre hating team I've seen.
Yeah.
There's Wide Guard, 2 Terra Waters, and a Kingdra.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, those restrictions that I said a moment ago those are what dominated Indy, obviously. There's a bunch of restrictions that we didn't say that people thought would have done better, like Rayquaza wasn't on this list at all. But it was making some tracks before this. So I still feel like there will be the occasional team that like breaks into the top something, right? Whether it does well in a grassroots or at top 128 in LA,
even at any regional or anything. Like you can see almost anything pop up if you get the right matchups through today, because that luck is a big factor in these things too.
Matchup draws will be even bigger now.
Yeah, because you could run into your worst nightmare matchups 3 games in a row and you're out of the tournament, first 3 rounds, or you just luck of the draw.
And we might have touched on this last week too a little bit, but like I think what is cool about these restricted formats is that suddenly mons that were kind of garbage on their own merits are really good now, just because they specifically enable another mon, like a really good restricted mon, in a certain way that nothing else happens to have all the same tools for. Like I think Serena is like the biggest example of this with Kyogre. Is like Kyogre wants the priority prevention, and what are the 2 things that it can't hit? It can't hit grass types, and it can't hit water types. Guess what Serena has? It has Power Whip and it has Triple Axle, and a lot of them go Terra Heist to hit Triple Axle even harder, and Wide Lens to not miss.
Yeah.
So you prevent priority, you hit both of the things that Kyogre can't hit. You can click Helping Hand to make Kyogre hit even harder. Like you can click Taunt to stop Trick Room from going up. Like the thing is very like it. But outside of it, who runs Serena when Rillaboom exists, right? Like it's literally just in this one case it enables a restricted really well. Same with Mienshao and Calyrex Shadow.
I'm sitting here is like I didn't realize it was in the game hardly. Like because we haven't seen it.
Yeah.
It's like seeing that Kingdra scrolling down. It's like I didn't even realize that was in the game still.
And I feel like more of that will pop up. Right, we're still very early in the meta, like we said. LA is
Pelipper being so good now. I mean, Pelipper has never been a bad mon. It's been good throughout Scarlet and Violet, but it hasn't been this good. Like, look, it's never cracked.
As soon as Wide Guard is good,
but Pelipper has never cracked. Yeah, the usage stats. Pelipper has never cracked top 12 usage stats.
Pelipper's day 2 usage was higher than Fluttermane.
Higher than Fluttermane, higher than Rillaboom, higher than Ogerpon.
Like that's baffling.
Crazy. Like just certain mons have these tools that are really, really good. Pelipper enables Ice Rider, but a lot of things. Like it works
Yeah.
well on like most teams now.
Mhm.
Well, like I said, I mean, wide
Good boy.
guard, wide guard in the restricted format is super good. It's like
Yep.
it can make your life a lot
so is,
easier.
and weather's also just really powerful. Like
Yep.
So and weather ball, right? Like you
Oh yeah, it's since they got weather ball
Pelipper having weather ball is huge for sure.
It needed
that.
Kyogre needed it.
because we got that.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That'd be good.
Kyogre doesn't even have a single target. Like you would have to run like Terra
Lost
Water,
Calls.
Terra Blast. Like
People are on Hydro Pump now. I hate it. I'm not doing it.
Yuck.
Yeah,
just go
It's
Terra
quite bad.
Blast. Go Terra Water, Terra Blast. Like
I don't even know. Like that's
I run bulky ogre, so I'm Terra Grass. That's not even gonna work for me. Like
I
yeah.
do like the
yeah.
Terra Grass variant of Kyogre. So interesting.
so also Ting Lu stonks going up.
Tinglu
Those will
stonks
go
going up, Rillaboom stonks going up. Like yeah, it's gonna be cool. And
Then Ice Rider runs right. So like you're playing this weird rock paper scissors, but that's what a good meta should. A good meta
Exactly.
should rock paper scissors. Which it can be frustrating whenever you go to do something and all of a sudden everybody's bringing a thing.
You've ruined your other matchups.
They,
But,
Yeah.
there is a balancing act to be had, right? It's like you need to put
Yeah.
all those matchups in front of yourself and say, okay, like, if I'm going to make a change to this team, what happens to my other matchups if I swap out this mon for this
Yeah.
other mon? Like, can I still handle it? And if you can actually keep all those balls in the air and like manage to have lines into everything, then you're in a great spot, even if they're even, you know?
Yeah, true.
And then there's oh man, I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, that's good team building, right?
Yeah.
To be able to do what you're just saying. Yeah, that's Indianapolis.
I think so.
You
Yeah.
like it? I know we like super focused in on Rajan's team and whatnot,
it
and we
deserved it
didn't
though,
touch
like cause
anyone else.
how the weekend went too. Like
But yeah, that was the big thing of the weekend, and I think seeing some of the trends that came out of this, seeing some of the usage stats for restricteds and performance of restricteds is something that we'll have to kind of compare with LA in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Sorry, I'd like to mention one more thing. Specs, Terapagos, Hyper Beam, also Oko's Calyrex.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was so good.
that was fun to watch on stream.
That was amazing.
You could tell that the other player had they did not
Who
see
count
that
for that?
coming.
Who,
Like, yeah.
Who counts for that?
Why would
Well,
you
if
count for
it
that?
counts- you have the sheet. You see that it's an option, but
I
no
know,
one
but,
thinks
like-
that the Specs mon is going to click Hyper Beam when they have Terra Star Storm as an option. But
Yeah.
it was the right decision.
But
man.
that's why you have it on there. You have that hyper beam on there. If
You have the
I
option.
need to get rid of that one thing.
Right now, yeah.
And then it left it on the field, so it could sleep, it could rest, it can charge.
And it is bulky enough
Pretty
to
funny.
maybe live another turn, sometimes. But
Yeah, it was. I continue to be impressed by the turtle's bulk. Okay, I think that's Indy. I think that's Indy.
I think
Indy's
that's
good.
that
Indy
was
was so much fun to watch.
it was.
Um,
Definitely go back and
yeah.
watch it if you didn't. It's
Yeah,
some
it was
VOD.
pretty hype.
Oh, one thing we didn't even mention too. I think one of the biggest parts of the weekend was Wolfie casting.
Yeah.
He was
Oh,
so
yeah.
good.
I'm going to be
Oh.
like, no disrespect to other casters, but he ruined me for all other casters. Like,
Put him and Aaron.
It was
Yeah,
yes.
you know, like-
Cyberwolf was very good.
great chemistry with Aaron for sure.
Well,
and-
yeah, that's a given. But like, Aaron was already he was the best. He was our best commentator we had. Period. And then you put Wolfie, who like it's his first time on an official stream, but the dude does so much content. That's all his
Yeah,
content
he's so
is
good at it,
talking
like-
about playing
And he-
Pokemon.
and
Like
both of them know the game so well, it makes the commentary very good.
Yeah.
Right.
Chat was kind of like getting on him for talking too fast. Yes, it was a little mile a minute, but you can understand everything he said, and
Yeah.
everything was just he did not. Pull
and he
punches.
brings
made fun of
the
you.
excitement.
Yeah, he made fun of people. Like he used it for making stupid decisions on
He
stream.
made fun of
which is, like,
himself for screwing up
Yeah,
every
yeah.
Terra call.
yeah,
Like
exactly. It wasn't
Yeah.
mean spirited. It was just like he's not going to like try to hype something up that was clearly a mistake, and
It,
it's just, like
there's a different feel though with him compared to how some other casters go about it. To
Yeah,
me, like
he does it really well. Like it was impressive.
he was fun with it. Like,
Yeah.
He had a lot of energy. It felt like if you ever watch the Unite stream, like Spraggles or somebody, it's got that vibe to it.
if
He
he,
really
ever
enjoyed
decides
being
he's
there.
yeah, if he
Yeah.
ever decides he's done playing, which I think will be a long time because he's just gonna keep on winning regionals until his legs don't work or whatever. But like he has a job doing commentary after this almost certainly.
Honestly,
like,
I hope it's sooner than later because I'd rather him commentate than watch him play. Honestly,
I'll,
like
take, I'll,
when
I'll
he-
take on and off. I like seeing him play too.
The on and off is very good because
he's
you know
brilliant.
Well,
Yeah.
if he did like Aaron, like regionals, like if they like give him some money, fly him out there, let him come. It just makes the experience better for everybody.
Yes, I do agree. Though I wish that he would take a breath every now and then.
Yeah,
he talked so fast and so consistently. I was impressed that he had the lung capacity to do so.
Like I said, he's a pro. He does this like it's all he's been doing for years now. Is
I mean that's
talking fast about Pokemon.
Yeah, no, that was really good. All right, B segments. Did you all know? And I know you know because we talked about it before, but I'm gonna act like we didn't. Did you know that they announced the Switch 2?
Yeah, they announced the announcement of Switch 2. It will be announced sometime in the next 9 months. It's like a
between now and March.
Portable baby that you can plug into your TV.
So I don't like that. I have two theories. About how this is going to play out. One is that they're going to announce it in October for a March 25 release date.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because that's
I
the
can see
exact.
Anything. I don't know. Is that the date that they released the Switch?
That's the exact same pattern they did for the Switch.
Oh yeah.
And there's enough leeway.
Nintendo likes patterns too.
If they manage to release it for Christmas, I think they might cause like actual international
if they announced it for this Christmas,
people would kill each other in shopping malls. Like
yeah,
I think America's lost its way. We don't have quite as much like Black Friday violence as we once did since the advent of online shopping.
Which is nice.
we gotta get back to our roots. We gotta make ourselves
get back
great
to the
again.
American way.
Yeah.
Rowan, you just
get done with Thanksgiving. You're in a food coma, like induced, like zombified state, and you gotta go spend money on electronics.
I want to see people with turkey gravy seeping out of their pores from the night before, just beating each other to get their hands on the new Switch and failing because they'll release like 100 of them.
Yeah, right.
Y'all, I don't know where on this track we left the rails, but this train is, whoosh, we've gone somewhere.
That's a dystopian past future we want here in America.
What's important is that it's all for my entertainment, though, which is probably better than any game on the Switch 2 would be. So, like,
oof, shots, dude. This baby ain't even born. He got shots fired.
They'll release it right away with like Xenoblade Chronicles for $60.
Metroid Prime 4 will be a launch title for the Switch too.
Okay,
absolutely.
Okay, I'd be into that. I love Metroid Prime. I don't know that that's a system seller, to be honest with you.
Probably not.
They better have something really good. Maybe Pokemon will be a launch game. I don't know. Or
Legends
Pizza. Like,
oh yeah, that and a Scarlet and Violet like
re-release that works.
An update.
Yeah,
like,
no, just being on
hardware. No, we're gonna make you pay $90 again to get Scarlet and Violet that works now. You can replay it in passable frame rate. Yeah,
they'll do like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Super Scarlet,
new
Super
hats,
Violet,
something like that.
So yeah.
This is entirely not how I thought this segment was gonna go, and I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm happy or sad about it.
The truth is we have no information, right? So like,
So
Cricketune posting because I've got nothing real to say on this one. Like,
well, so the pattern from before, right? Or again, they announced it in March for Holiday 25, right? Those kind of the two things I think. Just because those are the things that make sense to me. And really, they announced this because they're like, hey guys, shut up. We are gonna do it. It's coming, right? But the big thing is with that announcement, of course. You're gonna have a bunch of people come out of the woodworks to, come up with rumors, leaks, fake.
You know what? They'll be 80% fake, but they'll be fun.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun things already. There's Centro Leaks posted something or reposted something that has some degree of credibility. Like they're all like very.
They always say they got my cousin's brother, sister,
they're very
husband.
Safe guesses, right? It's like it will be a larger screen than it was before, and it will be OLED, and it will like, it will be 1440p this time. Like, okay, probably. Like we've had phones that do that for like close to a decade now, so I hope so.
We've heard that both ways though. Like they'll do LCD for the Switch 2, and they'll do OLED. Like it's 50-50 at this point. Who knows?
If the Switch 2 has a worse screen than the Switch 1 OLED, that would be wild. Like,
it should be OLED. It definitely should be OLED.
Supposedly Samsung's got the contract for at least a lot of it. So
that's good.
I don't think Samsung even makes LED screens anymore. Like
they do.
Really?
Well,
for their like
for the
absolute
Switch
like,
too.
for their absolute like dumpster bargain bin phones, maybe like.
well, for phones and for they don't do OLED like TVs, right? So like they do.
They do. There are OLED TVs.
Samsung.
Samsung, I'm pretty sure. They call them QLED or something silly, but
that's not OLED.
Really, is it? Huh.
It's something they have some stupid thing that's like not because I bought. Okay, I'm also speaking from like when I went TV shopping like 2 years ago. So maybe it changed, or maybe not 8 months ago, right? So maybe it changed, but Samsung was like having this thing about not doing OLED TVs and doing their own like special like mini LCD thing. So I don't know, research that. But either way, Samsung like phone screens are good and mostly OLED. Like they've been doing OLED for a long time.
They're the best in the market. Like Apple buys them from Samsung.
Yeah, and I think like Google Pixel is also a Samsung screen. So like that is good, and I hope they do that for the Switch too, because that makes sense. We also know there was a retweet on the tweet that initially from Furukawa that said this. Someone who was on the earnings call that talked about this said that it will be a success, like the successor to the Switch 2, or for the Switch will be an iteration of the Switch, not something new. So we do know that it is going to be closer to a Switch 2 than a Nintendo.
Yeah,
something new.
I'm fine with that if you just give me an updated Switch, because like, what do they need to change the platform?
They'd be
like,
brain dead to change this, even if they change the name. Like this,
it should be the same format.
The portable system that you can still use as a home console is such a winning idea. Still, no one's copied it properly. Why would you ever abandon that?
No, it makes perfect sense, right? And then I think this was probably a leak from Centro, maybe, or I forget. But something about like backwards compatibility, a safe yes. It's gonna have that for digital and physical, right? Exactly.
At least for like one gen in between, like
Nintendo systems generally do. Yeah. This Switch is actually like the first Nintendo console that hasn't had backwards compatibility to the last gen, and that was because the form factor changed entirely, right? Like
right.
Everything before that, Wii U played Wii, Wii played GameCube, GameCube didn't play at 64, but like we've had it for a minute.
So, but think about the way they did for the 3DS and the new 3DS. There was a handful of games that came out that were specifically for the new 3DS, and they just added a notch on the other side of the cartridge for those.
Gotcha.
Cartridges.
So you think it might be like genuinely just a graphical upgrade? I could see it.
Yeah. I think that's what we get.
So
performance graphics. Because I'm still gonna hold out on hope that we get a major boost to Scarlet and Violet with the new Switch.
If it's for backwards compatibility, it should.
I mean, just by virtue of playing on better hardware, it should make a notable difference. But from what we've seen, there are genuine software problems too. So like, honestly, by the time the Switch 2 comes out, we'll be talking about Gen 10. We'll already have ZA. Like, I don't have the urge to play Scarlet and Violet today. I'd be shocked if better performance made me want to play it in a year from now. Like,
yeah, that's a fair point. Like, it'll be a little too late at that point, right?
Its charm. Like it's quirky. It's duckling. Like,
let's call it quirky. That's what we want to call it. That's a good marketing term there.
Like, I knew it was bad. I knew it wasn't just me. I knew it was genuinely bad when even Joe Cerebi was like,
oh yeah,
I was like, even he was like, they were pretty fun games if only it wasn't for the performance. I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm not like, I haven't like gaslit myself into thinking this was bad. Like it's
bad.
rough.
It is like early access levels bad that we've been playing for.
However, it's only 2 million units under Sword and Shield.
It'll probably outsell Sword and Shield.
It'll outsell, for sure.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I think that's it for Nintendo.
Yeah.
For big news.
Yeah. I am really excited to see what the launch titles are, but we have no idea.
I'm excited just to see anything about it. Like, I'm not going to make the same mistake I made for the Switch, which was not pre-ordering it.
Oh yeah. No.
At the time, I couldn't. I was like fresh out of college or whatever, like in between like of my fake college job and my real job, and I was like, I have no money, so I didn't want to pre-order it. I was so tempted, but I literally when it came out,
you could have used that now. At this point, though,
so many bodily fluids people will pay for. Like it.
That's I'm gonna start bath water.
I got it. I don't think the Gamer Boy bathwater will sell as well.
Get on our Patreon.
Oh my gosh. two different brain cells went, and then but like I was literally like going to like the same 2 or 3 targets every morning before work to try and get a Switch when it first came out, because I was like, I want it so bad. and I got it eventually.
That's how I felt like
man,
trying to get a PS5.
You are younger than me, man. I knew you were. I guess it's just it puts it in perspective more when I have like life events. I was in my third job, I think, by the time the Switch came out.
Yeah, I might have been like in my I think it was technically my second job out of college, but like my first real like, big boy job, career job, and also looking back on it, it wasn't that. It was so bad. That's a whole different story. You can catch that on our page. No, just kidding. But yeah, so that's that. Have y'all been playing any other games?
No, it's all Pokemon now. I'm sorry. The other video game section is going to be pretty. I'm going raiding tonight, but playing the game I always play. Like it's going to be pretty bare.
Yeah, we're recording it a little bit earlier than normal, so you can go raid and Guild Wars.
Yeah,
which is very, very good.
So I've picked up a new game that's in early access, Manor Lords.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say Hades 2.
No, I haven't picked up Hades 2 yet.
Things, yeah,
it's very good.
Because I loved Hades 1. I was on that train with Mike over at Pokesports. Whenever Hades 1 came out, we grinded that game so hard.
Yeah.
But Manor Lords, have you heard of that? Have you seen that?
I heard about it. It's
really good.
A settlement game?
Yeah. Yep. It's a RTS-y kind of 4X, strategy kind of game. Like it's like a city builder too and all, but it's really good.
Oh my gosh, I found the Steam page and it just started blasting my ears. Oh my gosh,
it's really good though, especially for like the whole city builder like aspect of it. It's done really well. And it's like one dude made it and he just contracted out some of the work.
Nice. Yeah, there's a couple of games like this that I've played, so it showed up on my Steam queue of like, hey, look,
you play like Civilization. If you played any of those kind of things, it's even Paradox games.
Yeah, Civ is different than this, right?
Yeah, Civ is different. Yeah,
but Timberborn, Foundation. I'm gonna forget other ones, but like those again, like you said, RTS city builder games.
So it's been fun. Been doing that. Played some League here and there. Been slowly trying to grind some ranked games if I can get a decent team. Randoms. It's hit or miss on the ladder there. Like imagine laddering, but you're dependent on 4 other people, not just you playing.
Yeah,
well.
We've talked about this as the reason I don't play cooperative competitive games. Like,
so I don't often play ranked too much. I'll just play like the casual side because then it doesn't feel as bad just to forfeit, get out.
Sure. Helldivers. We need to play that game.
I know.
We say this every week. Yeah,
we have been playing.
We will eventually.
I've been playing Helldivers. Where are you two? I'm just not telling you.
Waiting for the ping. I don't know, man.
I'll jump on right after this, right? Screw Guild Wars. Let's go play Helldivers. No, but have you guys heard about the Helldivers controversy that happened over the
week? So fill me. So my impression was that people are mad because they wanted to make them make a Sony account. Is there a problem? I honestly don't get it.
Yeah, so that is it, right? So Sony published Helldivers, so they worked together to obviously make the game. Sony required because. So my assumption is that part of the contract for the publishing also is that, like, I'm pretty sure Arrowhead is the developers of Helldivers. They're using Sony's servers for this, and the game's cross-play between PS players and PC players. Now, it was announced that, hey, if you have a PSN account, you have to link it at some point. You had the option to up until, well, still you do, and it wasn't required. The requirement came in an announcement last week, and everyone's like, Sony said on the Steam page and on Twitter, hey, you have to link your account after this update, and it's supposed to help like better like bans and whatnot, like since it's on their servers or whatever. That all stuff, I don't really care. I think it's fine. Like, yes, the field kind of sucks where like you have to have a different account for every Microsoft published game, every Sony published game, every Nintendo published game, every Blizzard, Ubisoft.
This is like, I don't know.
That's normal.
I'm happy when consumers win over companies, right?
Well, that's not the problem.
Literally any case in which it's a consumer versus a company, I hope the company loses and burns, even if they're right. But
yes. Well, no. But here's
I don't understand what people are upset about here.
Because PSN is not available in every country.
Oh, so some people lost their game.
There were 128 countries that PSN is not available in that the game was sold on Steam for.
Okay, that's pretty scummy.
That's a problem. But I feel like it's not even them being scummy. It's just they didn't even like.
They probably didn't even think about
They
it.
didn't think
yeah.
outside of
Well,
America. Like they're like,
Well, it's Sony, right? So they have it's Japan, it's America,
Yeah, I mean,
whatever. Like it's all these countries.
Sony
Sure.
does have different branches too, but yeah,
Sure,
I bet they just didn't think about those other countries. Period.
yeah, they probably just don't even realize.
Well,
it.
that's the thing though. So Sony made this move. There was a bunch of backlash. They did not back down until pretty much the whole Helldivers 2 community caused this mostly positive or overwhelmingly positive game on Steam to go to mostly negative in a matter of like 3 days. And what's so cool, what's really funny, is there's a chart. If you can find it on Twitter, easy. You can find it on Steam if you know where to look. There's a chart of the amount. It's a histogram chart of the amount of positive versus negative reviews. And you can now you can see like it was huge, up positive, and then it kind of dwindled down just with time. That makes sense. And then the worst dip
Just
ever
a
in
straight
negative reviews. Yeah, for like 4 days, you see these red lines going down.
And they're not fixing that, right? Like they might.
No, they did.
Nobody's going back to reverse. I mean, some people are, but their reviews are still going to be mostly negative for a while until like it's going to take a long time to repair
it's
that.
positive again.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So the community again band together. The thing is, the whole game of Helldivers is about banding together, right? So then of course you do this thing in real life, and you don't expect the community to band together. No, no.
You can't let your fellow soldiers you gotta do it as a group. You're a unit.
This is for democracy. This is for liberty. This is for Super Earth. No, so like the rating went back up. But what's great is there was a meme going around where someone took that picture of the negative part of the graph and put it on a cape in Helldivers, and now Arrowhead is going to make that an actual item in the game.
Nice, good.
It's
good for
so
them.
good. It's so good.
I did get the impression that it was like the devs didn't care or didn't want to do the thing, but you're at the mercy of your publisher, right? Like,
the devs didn't want to do it. There was a little bit of internal back and forth. It kind of seemed like. And even at the beginning, the community manager was like, hey, it takes 120 seconds to go ahead and make this account. Like, just go ahead and do it. And then, or if it's too much, like, yeah, complain and get your money back. Like, he didn't realize at the time that, oh, wait, there's 120 some odd countries that can't play the game now.
Yeah,
and then he's like, oh, no, this is a problem.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, that if Sony actually considers it worth it, they will go ahead and because they probably saw the legal writing on the wall too, right? Like you get
you sold them the game and you said you can't play it now.
Yeah, nice big class action coming your way, right? Like they will probably just make it so it's physically possible to make an account in these other countries and then do it again. But
yeah, they might. Which is, I mean, at that point, I don't care. Like there were people annoyed at that, and I'm like, that doesn't. It's everywhere right now. It doesn't make it any better, to be fair. But it's still just annoying more than anything. It's not like
make an account to play our game is not particularly.
I've been doing that since the games came out. I feel like
right
before Steam, like you just had to make an account for every game, with the developer. Like, if it was going to be an
that was the
game.
worst. Like every single game, you had to make an account, and half the times, like the links didn't even link to an actual website, and
it was so weird.
Soft locked out of the game right from the start.
Every game had its own launcher. Like you had to,
yeah. So that I'm fine with that. Again, like I linked my PSN account day one and didn't think about it since. So
because you're used to doing that on PlayStation,
I'm glad they won. That's cool.
I'm so happy. Yeah. It's so good, and the memes about it are also amazing.
It's almost a GameStop type thing, but
yes,
it didn't bankrupt people, unfortunately. But
yeah, that's fair. But hopefully there's some learning going on behind the scenes, and people get better from this, right? People grow, companies will make better decisions in the future. Yeah. Not shareholder focused and gains focused. Yeah, no, it's fine.
We'll see.
Well, I think that about covers an episode. Oh wait, I have one more thing. How much time? We have plenty of time for one last thing. This is episode 84. What Pokemon is that?
Oh no,
I'm pretty sure this is episode 84. I hope I'm right. What Pokemon is that?
We did this did we do it literally last episode? No, we did it pretty recently.
We did this like 5 episodes ago.
It's 3,
it's been a while. I've been forgetting about it.
And I had no idea what it was.
Yep.
Last one was Magnemite, I think.
Yeah, and that was many episodes ago. Oh, this is so good. I'm so excited. And yes, for those of you following along at home, I did copy this off of Pokesports, and I'll unabashedly say that. So thank you, Mike and Kevin, for the idea. It's not that
they don't still do it
hard
anymore,
of an idea.
Do they still do it?
I've been behind on Pokesports for so long. I'm so sorry, you two. I mean, like since like a month or two.
Going with. Okay, you know what? It's been famous recently, and it's Gen 1. I'm going with Dugong.
Okay, so
Dugong. Interesting. I'm
Sheldon?
going to say at 84.
I'm so glad
I'm
that
gonna say-
also. The thing is, Sheldon's been thinking about this for about 5 minutes. We've been on the call, and I'm so glad that Riverside will help me automatically just remove that dead space.
Yeah, that's a great thing. I want to say Golduck. I want to go with the water type too. Just
Okay.
Both of you are wrong. It is in fact Doduo.
Doduo.
Okay. What number? Okay. What number is?
Yeah, Dugong. I want to say those are in the hundreds.
No, Dugong is 87. Okay, I was not far
Oh,
off.
you were so close.
Oh
wow. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I
think
was just going off of our horned drill Lord and Savior.
And Golduck, I think, is
way earlier. 55. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you keep Dugong and Seal in mind for literally the next family. So
that'll come up soon.
So Rowan knows the next 3 episodes. It's great.
Right.
All right. Now we're done. We're officially done with this episode. Let's call it. Y'all, thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Rob KTA, for our theme song, Goldenrod Game Corner off the Ultra Ball album. Go ahead and give that a listen. It's pretty good. And all the rest of his stuff that he makes. They something on Spotify just came out where I saw more of him doing stuff with Game Chops, which is good.
He does a lot with Game Chops.
Yeah. I've been Harrison. You can find me at Sorry, I had to swallow. Harrison Row_Ixon. That one. Oh my gosh. On all the social medias. Rowan, who are you?
I'm Rowan. You can find me at Rowan W Hall on Twitter, Zitter. That's pretty much it.
Zitter, that's a new one.
Yeah. Who are you, Sheldon?
I be Captain Unova on the social platforms, Captain _Unova on the Twitterverse. But yeah, also Sheldon everywhere else. That's not Captain Unova.
Sheldon on your bro certificate, yeah.
Yeah.
And together we have been the Game Corner. You can find us at Game Corner VGC. You can find us in all the links down below. You can find us on Apple Podcast, where you can leave us a 5-star review. Please and thank you. You can find us in Discord and down below. Patreon if you want to support us there. Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, of course. Answer the question that I'll definitely post in things down below on Spotify. Spotify? Yeah, in the show notes, whatever.
Oh, you can get this shirt on the
I have to add the shop. Shoot.
Oh,
Remind me to do that later.
Okay.
Yeah, send me a link, and then I'll definitely forget. But all of that is down below in the links, in the link tree down below. There we go. And until next time, no matter what you decide to play, press start and game on.